This is Mortgage Talk 101. I'm Joe Closeit. We're talking about the appraisal ordering process today. And my friend Linda Davidson, when I saw her at a mortgage conference recently, said, Joe, please share your explanation for how the appraisal ordering process works. So if you like this explanation and you know Linda, thank her. So how does it work? There's a few rules you do have to understand. Number one, appraisers are sent to your house on a random rotation system. So you just get the next appraiser in line. Number two, the loan officer or the bank that orders your appraisal cannot talk to the appraiser. Number three, not only can they not talk to the appraiser, but they don't even get to know who the appraiser is in most circumstances. Now there's a couple exceptions to this rules, but this is mainly how it works. And it is causing problems all over the country with appraisals. Another thing you have to consider, if you ask the appraiser who's your customer, the appraiser will tell you the loan officer or the bank is their customer. What? I want you to imagine in any other circumstance in the world where the customer is not allowed to know who the service provider is or talk to them. Let me explain. Imagine if you went to your restaurant. You went to your favorite restaurant and you had a favorite server. Let's say her name is Angie. So you go into your restaurant, you sit down, and you request Angie to wait on you. Some stranger shows up at the table and says, I'm sorry, you can no longer choose your own server. We randomly assign your server to your table on a rotation basis. So you ask, well, who are you? Do you work for the restaurant? And the person says to you, oh no, sorry, I don't work for the restaurant. I'm the third-party restaurant ordering service. And what you have to do is place your order through me and I assign the server to your table. Wait, you don't work for the restaurant? No, sorry sir, ma'am, I don't. I'm contracted by the restaurant because a new law has been passed that says that the restaurant can no longer assign servers to the tables themselves. They have to use a third party, an independent, non-biased party to assign servers to your table to make sure that there's no favoritism. What? Okay. So you get, all right, well fine, assign us a server and send them over here so we can place our order. Now Mr. Third Party says, sorry sir, this isn't how it works. What we do is you give me your order and then I give it to your server. You don't get to know who your server is, nor do you ever get to talk to your server. Huh? So, okay. So you give your order to Mr. Third Party Ordering Service, who doesn't even work for the restaurant, and he says, well, the good news is I'm glad to take your order. It looks like you have a very fine order here, but the server you've been assigned isn't taking orders for the next 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, so now at this point, you've had enough. You're angry, you're mad, and you want to speak to the manager. So the manager comes over to your table, and you go, hey, listen, we don't like your Mr. Third Party Ordering Service guy, and we're done with that. We want to know who our server is, and we want to get our order in and get our food so that we can eat. And the manager says, sorry, by law, I'm required to use Mr. Third Party Ordering Service guy, and there's nothing I can do. And you say, well, who's our server? And the manager says, sorry, but nobody who works in the restaurant is allowed to know who your server is. What? So you get mad. You walk out of the restaurant and you go to the restaurant down the street. And who comes to your table? Mr. Third Party Ordering Service here. Shows up at your table. Hey, how are you doing? I'd love to randomly assign the next server on rotation to your table. This is what's going on. And what you have to ask yourself is, what you have to understand as the borrower, is that the lender, the loan officer, the bank you're working with has very little control over these rules. These rules were put in law by Congress in the Frank-Dodd Act. And so now everybody has to utilize some sort of thing where the loan officer doesn't know who your appraiser is And even if they did, they cannot talk to the appraiser. It's insanity. But be patient, work with your loan officer, understand the process. Don't blame them, it's not their fault, they didn't do it. And if you have questions like this, please ask, subscribe to the blog, get these answers. I love bringing them to you. Thank you for tuning in to Mortgage Talk 101. I'm Joe Closeit, making dreams come true, one closing at a time.